Good morning and welcome to the QED conference. My name is Huw Jones. I write about financial regulation for Reuters News, and I was based here in Brussels for 4 years as the financial crisis began unfolding, but I'm now based in London. We have two panels this morning looking at the banking union and looking at the bigger picture in financial regulation. And they asked me to make a few introductory remarks, and I thought, well, from what I see, the big picture is starting to get a little uncertain. And it's making it very hard to see what exactly is the big picture and whether you can believe what you're seeing. I think up until a few weeks ago, everything looked fairly steady as the good ship G20 sailed on with its cargo of new rules of Basel III, the OTC derivatives, and so on, with the European Union in tow. And we also had the European Union policymakers firing on all cylinders with the banking union, which is pretty revolutionary and marks a leap in integration that normally takes decades. So in short, we didn't have any shortage of ideas or policies. And it appeared that the big picture was emerging, that there'd be tougher rules, they'd be coordinated globally, and everybody be on the same song sheet. But as we all know, the devil's in the detail, as the cliche goes. And I think the big picture that was emerging a few months ago, or even a few weeks ago, is now fragmenting. And we have two intertwined forces: lack of economic recovery and the tough battles among international regulators. I think implementation is proving much harder than the policy making. We've already seen that the United States is delaying Basel III, and the European Union will probably do likewise, whether by intention or default. They're simply not ready. There'll be no big bang in Basel in January. Regulators from the European Union and the United States are also trying furiously to get on the same sheet in derivatives. They met last week in New York. They're making some progress, but they're going to meet in January just to agree on an agenda for implementing the reforms, even though those reforms were due by the end of this month. And we saw this week that even the momentum in the banking union is waning. We have Germany, which is lukewarm to say the least about the ECB supervising its smaller banks, which we know are not in too good a healthy state. So I think the upshot is that the big picture is pretty much in flux. But then again, what does it matter anyway? If you look on the ground, the new rules are being implemented. Most of the world's biggest banks have more than enough capital to meet the Basel requirements of 2019. Also, derivatives markets are already recording and clearing transactions. The new rules are already in effect in many cases. So anyway, to try and get a handle on this big picture, we have 4 panelists this morning. We're going to start with Patrick Brady, who is Director of Policy and Risk at the Central Bank of Ireland, which is also the regulator for Ireland's financial system. We'll then have David Llewellyn, who is a Professor of Money and Banking at Loughborough University in Britain, and followed by Graham Bishop, who's well known here in Brussels, an independent consultant on EU financial regulation. Ollie Schmidt will join us a little bit later. He's at a vote in the... he's a Liberal member of the European Parliament, and they're having a vote at 9 o'clock, so he will join us in a few minutes' time. Each panelist will speak for about 10 minutes, and then we'll open the floor to questions. So we can kick off now, I think, with Patrick. Thank you.